It's your weekly breakaway for fun conversations on pro cycling and so much more. Join us as we go Beyond the Slipstream. I'm Matt Harper, and together with my brother Justin, we'll do deep-ish dives on bike races, movies, bands, and all manner of shiny pop cultural objects. Oh, and did I mention bike races? We're kind of obsessed. Allez!
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Slipstream. I'm Justin and this is my brother Matt, and today we'll be finishing out our coverage of the 2025 Tour de France Femmes Avec Zwift with an analysis of stages 3 through 6 in our first segment and 7, 8, and 9 in segment 2. For segment 3, we'll turn our attention to the men's Clasica San Sebastian, the prestigious midsummer one-day classic in Spain's Basque country. And as always, we'll finish out with another ride up the Madelaine in the Broom Wagon. Allez! Please note, this segment will contain spoilers. After an exciting opening weekend that saw an amazing last-second sprint win by Marianne Vos on the opening day to take yellow, and a cathartic solo breakaway win for the long-struggling Mavi Garcia on Stage 2, the 2025 Tour de France Femmes Avec Zwift settled into more familiar, but in a way unfamiliar territory on Monday and Tuesday. The familiar sight of Lorena Wiebes mopping up the sprint wins entered the chat on Stage 3 and stuck around on Stage 4, but it was unfamiliar insofar as these were Wiebes' first wins in the Tour since 2023. In the following 2 days, the race headed back into the hills where AG Insurance Soudal's Kim Lacourt took a big win on Stage 5 in a reduced bunch sprint against GC favorites, just edging out the hard-charging pre-race GC favorite Demi Vollering of the FDJ Suez in a sprint so close the announcers were wondering if she hadn't sat up and celebrated a moment too soon. And then on Stage 6, we got a remarkable win from the breakaway by Team UAE ADQ's Maeva Squeben. And a relative unknown with only 2 wins to her name, her dominant performance going both up the hills and down was impressive to say the least, and as it turned out, was just a taste of things to come. But Matt, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Something tells me you'd rather talk Lacourt and Squeben than Wiebes and, Wiebes. Am I right?
You're so right, my brother, because 2 Lorena Wiebes sprints is just about the most boring thing I could think of. Whatever. It's almost like I'm putting Wiebes in the same bucket as we've been talking about Pogačar, where I just want to see her just demolish every record in sight. You know what I mean? Because she's just so ridiculously dominant, but it doesn't make it any more exciting when you're watching those finishes. So yes, let's forget about that. I don't know. Do you want to talk those 2 stages?
All right, I can sum those 2 stages up very, very quickly. To me, the story, at least early in this stage, is that you have already out Charlotte Kool, Elisa Longoborghini, and Marlon Reusse are all out of this race. It's Stage 3.
Yeah, that's insane. And what a massive disappointment. Why couldn't it have been the Giro or the Vuelta? No, it's got to be the Tour.
Yep.
Well, we'll see about the Vuelta, but you get me. Totally sucks.
Yes.
Just sucks. Even and what did transpire in the race, seeing what did transpire in the race would have made the presence of definitely Reusse and ELB so much more compelling on the overall. You know what I mean? Considering all the big favorites kind of hung in there almost to the end.
Well,
that whole group of them.
I think that Stage 8 climb would have suited Marlon Reusse very well. All right. Again, we talked about this with the men's side.
But we shouldn't be talking Stage 8 though, because we're in the first segment. So
That's true. But I'm just saying, 5 and 6. I'm saying losing her now is, it's a disappointment. We said about it about the men's. It's all about the what could have been when you lose riders. You know what I mean? And especially early on, because when it comes down to it, while we got fireworks from a lot of different places that we weren't expecting, which is just like the men's side of things, you also get the wins that are going to be there, which are the Lorena's Wiebes wins. They're the two sprints, and they're definitely her because they're flat, and she's just going to crush it. And in this case,
she's gonna have an incredible lead out, and she's going to crush it.
Yeah, and in both cases, in both of the stage wins that she got, you had Voss there with her.
Right, a tire's width behind her, just like every time. It's
same in the intermediate sprints too.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's absolutely great. And the other thing you were going to say, the takeaway from this stage, was the crash that put Balsamo and Demi Vollering on the ground. And Demi Vollering was hurt bad enough that she was being pushed home by her teammates.
Yes.
Not a pleasant sight, but to her credit, she got up and was back on the bike, and we'll see how well she did in the race when we get into our second segment.
Yeah. Did you, on stage 3, just another note for stage 3, did you see the guys being drug in the boat behind
Yes.
the boat? Oh my God. Dude,
yes, I had that note as well. Well, the thing is, had the camera angle been lower, I think what it was supposed to look like, it was, you're not supposed to see the boat. The boat looked really cool, but if you remember, it was a guy on like a stationary bike inside of the boat. So if the camera was low enough and the grassy field was high enough, it would just look like the guy was riding his bike through the middle of the field that fast, as the peloton was going by, which kind of would have been funnier. But at the same time, I loved the boat. There's something about the boat that was great. So, all right. I was happy to see Wiebes back on top of her celebration game with the crossed hands. Did you notice that?
Yes.
She gave us the eagle, just like in the Hudsucker Proxy. Go Eagles! So dude, that was nice.
That's so crazy that you just said that movie. I was just talking about the Hudsucker Proxy this week with somebody.
Wait. Then no better time than the present. Total aside right here, but it's worth it because I know you're familiar with the podcast Blank Check.
Yeah.
You listen to all the Star Wars stuff. Anyways, they're doing the Coen brothers right now. This past week, they just did Barton Fink. Their next, they go in, they do the filmmakers like in order. The next one in line is the Hudsucker Proxy. It's going to be dropping this week. So,
all right, I'm in.
If you wanted to dip a toe back in, this is your week.
All right, I'll listen to that one.
And at least one of them is already, because you listen to them talking about kind of all the movies throughout the thing. One of them is already like well on record as Hudsucker Proxy being his favorite Coen Brothers movie, and I'm like, oh, this is my guy. This is my guy. So I cannot wait for this episode.
All right,
we digress. I don't know that there was anything.
Two other things, and then we'll move on to the really the more exciting two stages. Gasparini did not start on stage 4, and Kristen Faulkner, who's about to be a casualty, dead last again on stage 4.
Yeah, had a horrible race.
Oh, dude, you want to talk about a disappointment for me for, somebody that I root for really hard is Kristen Faulkner, man. And damn, dude, just sad to see her just not being able to get it together, and it just looked like she's in total pain. So
yeah,
and she had a bad wreck too.
She'll come back though.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great.
It happens, man.
Terrible Tour de France. Yep, it happens. But she's a great champion. I have no doubt she'll be back in the mix. In weeks or months. Amazing lead out as always from SD Works. Anna van der Breggen just gets out on the front of a race and is just so damn comfortable. That woman likes to just be sitting in front, either pulling or trying to get away, or staying safe. And she just kind of set up the win for Wiebes from distance. And then I don't know if you noticed in the specifics of the sprint, but Wiebes got boxed in at one point. Like they were all up out of the saddle and sprinting, and she got boxed and had to go back down on her seat. She kept her cool and then waited for a gap to open up again. She knew she had enough distance. The boxing happened far enough back from the line that she was able to sit down, take stock of the situation, and then when the fucking door opened, she was like, "All right, let me Vivus this thermonuclear, and no one's beating her." All right, so let's get on to stage 5 and 6. This is when it started to get hilly again. This was kind of like a rolling stage, and in case anybody is wondering, the start area was Futuroscope. Did you notice that? Mm-hmm. Did you find it strange that the start of this particular stage was for Futuroscope? Futuroscope. I'm like, what the hell is that? So I looked it up, and Futuroscope is like an amusement park on the top of a mountain in some beautiful area of France. It's Futuroscope, so that's why that stage was starting there. In case anybody was wondering.
I bet they pay a lot of money for it.
Yep. So on this stage, there was a lot of breakaway action. We saw some Allison Jackson action. I really liked how AJ was present.
She was all over the breakaways in this race.
Mm-hmm. And Cedrine Kerbal was omnipresent throughout this race as well. She had some bad luck that we're going to get into, but happy to see that, even though on the whole, EF's race, nothing to write home about in terms of results, which is a bummer.
They didn't have, like I said, we already talked about Kristen Faulkner, and it just, just quite the opposite to their EF side, the men's side of the Tour de France.
Yeah, for sure. So at some point, Brody Chapman kind of gets away. I think she was with Francesca Barale. They get caught 16 Ks to go by your girl Silke Smulders and this other woman whose name is what is it? Oh, Mava Squeebon. Have you heard of her? Because she was there attacking on this stage that Kim LaCour won. So this Mava Squeebon was in the mix on this stage, but ultimately it comes down to the final climb with like the elite group: Van de Breggen, Kim LaCour, Roy Ackers, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, Newadoma, Vollering, and Gigante. And that's the race right there. That was like the last like 5 days of the race. It came down to that group of like 5 or 6 right there. Van de Breggen tries to launch a flyer. Gigante gets in her way. And LaCour Pinot wins the sprint, but just barely over Demi Vollering. When you saw it on the side on shot, it was like, oh, okay, it was not as close, but that front on shot,
she might have celebrated just a tad too soon.
Yeah, nobody was saying anything, but you got lucky. But whatever, she's cool. I like Kim LaCour. She's a fighter, and she's a good interview, and I like her.
And she went into yellow that day, right?
Correct. And did you catch the moment where she threw the bouquet? I wish they would have shown it. Like, God forbid the camera just pans over. You know what I'm talking about? Where she was on the podium, she threw the bouquet, and she was like, like you see her throw it, and it goes out of frame, but they don't follow the bouquet. But you see her reaction. She's like, like, oh my God, and like she turns and like puts her head down. So she must have drilled someone with this bouquet. I'm dying to know. If we actually had listeners, I'd be like, listeners, send in your videos and let me know what that was. If you can find a good fan video of what happened to that bouquet of flowers. So yeah, that was a great win. She's really good in a sprint, and it was super exciting. I love finishes like that, these like uphill draggy finishes, and coming down to like reduced bunch sprints. Super exciting. It was fantastic, and a great setup for stage 6 on Thursday, with a dangerous breakaway of go ahead.
So I was going to say, to start this stage, all right, here we go with even more abandoned and non-starters. You lose Trinka Colonel, Elisa Valsamo, Swinkles, and Odestad. It's like there's something about the attrition in this race. Like, I mean, like great riders are just dropping like
it
flies.
is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It'll be interesting to see what is said about that, in the months to come.
Well, it makes me wonder if some of these races are just, it seems like their Grand Tour schedule just is like one on top of the other. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, stage 6 was awesome. You got this dangerous break out front. Soraya Paladin, Elise Chabet and the Polka Dots, Amber Kroc, Soraya Casterline, Brody Chapman, Silka Smulders, and Femke Heritza. All like every one of those women is just a hitter. They get out in front. There's an amazing descent, Karabal and Neodoma, to try to bridge up to the front group. There's also what will become a theme over the next couple of days. Incredible work from Justine Gakira, in this case, to bring Kim LaCour back, because LaCour had kind of fallen off of the back of the front runners group. The group that we were just talking about with AVB and Roy Eckers and Ferran Provode, Doma, Vollering, Gigante. Like, she had dropped off of those guys. And here comes Justine Gakira in the Belgian national champions jersey, just like chug. Like, let's get you back where you need to be. That woman is an absolute like God. Like,
she's kind of like the female version of Wout van Aert.
Exactly, and she's Belgian, and she's in the
I
national
know, that's what I'm
champions
saying.
jersey.
It's like it all fits. You remember when I can't remember, it was Bob Roll. I think it was Bob Roll that said, here's Wout van Aert, the finder of lost children. And he said it about Primoz Roglic in the it was either the Dauphiné.
You never miss a chance to drop that quote. You're fucking killing me.
But it's it's the same thing. This is
I know, and what it is, it's the difference between that kind. It's a different kind of domestique than a mountain domestique, where you're just the guy that stays there with your leader, and you grind until you fall off. She can do that. And she did that in this race. But in other cases, one of which I'm really excited to talk about, she was out there pulling leaders back, pulling people back, helping them get into position, giving them motivation, et cetera, et cetera. So an absolute stud in that regard. She's incredible. So Maeve Squibon hits out 32 kilometers to go, gets a full minute on the group on the penultimate climb, and then crushes the descent. So she gets to the bottom of the descent, and she's basically still got the whole minute left. Now, a big theme for the next couple of days emerges, and that is Sarah Gigante dropping off the back on the descent. This woman is the worst descender in the pro peloton, at least in terms of people who have a shot of winning races. When it goes straight uphill, as we saw in the Giro d'Italia, she can decimate MFers.
She can not descend.
She's horrible.
Yeah.
And
we know what she's going to be working on this off season.
Yes, for sure. And here we had Gakira dropping back to pull her forward to catch the GC leaders. And I'm not sure if it was this stage or when she was doing it again for, I think, on stage 8. But like, there was some great footage of them like off the back, Gakira like yelling at her, like, come on, you got to get up here. Like, I mean, angry and like bossing it to her and just like, come on, get your shit together. And I was just like, yeah, that's the difference between what she's doing and like just your garden variety mountain domestique. Yes. You know what I mean? That's a motivator. That's a finder of lost children right there. I'll give you credit for that. So anything else to say about that besides the fact that Squibon gets the solo win, first French win of the tour, and Labous comes in second for a French 1-2.
I think that Maeve Squibon might have been the best climber in this entire race. All right.
Save it for the next segment. Good segue. Good segue.
On that note, we'll be right back. segment will contain spoilers. The final weekend of the 2025 Tour de France Femmes Avec Zwift served up lots and lots of amazing. Friday, Stage 7 gave us an amazing second win for Team UAE ADQ's Maeva Squiban, who went from unknown superstar in the space of 48 hours when she doubled up on her own win from the day before in even more dominant fashion. With a solo break, a powerful climb, and a daredevil descent, in time to set up over the line. We saw amazing work from AG Insurance Soudal's Justine Gagere, the Belgian national champion, who over and over again played the consummate domestique, helping to keep her teammates at the pointy end of the race, and of course, in the end, the most amazing achievement of all, Visma Lisa Bike's Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, in her first season back in the women's pro road peloton since an extended multi-year assault on every record in the pro cross-country mountain bike and cyclocross world tours, did in her first season what she announced upon her return to the road that she hoped to do within 3 seasons. She won the Tour de France Femmes Avec Zwift. She became the first French winner of the race, male or female, since Jenny Longo won the Tour de France Féminine, as it was called then, way back in 1989. And as even casual fans of the sport know, there hasn't been a French winner on the men's side since Bernard Hinault in 1985, a full 40 years ago. Matt, PFP is nothing short of awesome. How about kicking off this segment with that list of her palmares that I saw buried in your notes?
I will gladly do that. Let's talk about it. Okay, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot's palmares. She was cyclocross, cross-country mountain bike, world champion of cyclocross 1 time, cross-country mountain bike 5 times, and the road 2 times. She was the only rider ever to hold all 3 of those titles concurrently: cyclocross world champ, cross-country mountain bike world champ, and road world champ concurrently. She won the Olympic cross-country mountain biking gold medal. She won the World Marathon Mountain Biking Championship twice. She won the World Mountain Bike Short Track Championship twice. She won the European Cross Country Mountain Bike Championship twice. She won her National Cross Country Mountain Biking Championship 4 times. She won the National Elite Road Race 2 times. She won her National Elite TT Championship 3 times. She won her National Cyclocross Championship 3 times. Oh, and she won Flèche Wallonne, Paris-Roubaix, and the Tour de France Femmes. That is absolutely ridiculous. And dude, we didn't even know who she was 2 years ago. That's the crazy part. Let's just come clean right here, right now. We didn't know jack shit about you know what I'm saying? Wow. Wow. I'll admit it. I haven't been following the women's side of things close enough. I'm sure that I saw Pauline Ferrand-Prévot racing in some women's mountain biking and cross. The name. I was not unfamiliar with the name at the beginning of the season when she started up with Visma Lisa Bike. I knew that there was a female bike rider named Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. I did not know what her palmares was. I did not know her backstory, and I damn sure didn't see coming.
It's how she
dropped on the women's tour this year.
But here's the thing: is that this is how she won this race. Okay, so the way that you describe her career as this, obviously she's a friggin' superstar. She beat the world of cycling. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat the top at all of these things, at all of them, all of the different disciplines." She was the best at it at some point. So with this race, she comes out of nowhere. She spends, basically 7 days just tucked in, all right, protected, and she plays her little thing on stage 1.
No. You're burying the cold open. Let's not forget the cold open on stage 1.
That's what I'm saying.
She almost won, but was actually setting up Marianne Vos. And let's note the symmetry of the fact that this team was in yellow on the first stage, and they were in yellow on the last stage. But then she went very quiet. She got suddenly very quiet for the next several days. Carry on.
And I think that this is why, I really do think this is one of the reasons why she won this race. She saved her energy until the exact moment that it was time to go, and she put in such a move that she buried everybody. And I think no one was ready for it. I think Vollering had a hard week. All right. I don't know that she had necessarily been put into a lot of stress, but she had wrecked. She wasn't the dominant force that you were expecting her to be. I think Cassia is very much, right there. She's putting in the work in the right places. I feel like she's, some breaks of luck, and she's a little bit closer in time, to it. But when it comes down to when Prevost goes and finally makes her move, and I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, because stage 7 we have Mavis Wibben, but when she makes that move, it's so absolutely just. It's a giant blow, and nobody stays with it. Like and I think that the way that she raced the whole week, and the way she conserved her energy, and really played it smart. All right, after that stage 1 flourish, I just think Visma played this race perfectly. They knew exactly what they were going to do and exactly when they were going to do it, and I think she knew that she could crack these guys, and they weren't expecting it because, before into this, she got cracked in what's the mountain in the UAE tour,
Jebel
Lafitte. Yeah, she got totally cracked on that, and but then she won Paris-Roubaix, and so you knew that she was strong. I think everybody in the race underestimated her, and when she went, nobody could hang with her shit, and it was
look at the way her race played out. So she has that stage 1 thing, and then Mavi Garcia wins on stage 2, so she's back with the group. She's not doing any work. She's just sitting in the group. Stage 3, stage 4 sprint stages, she's just with the group. She's not doing anything. Nose is never in the wind. Nothing. Stage 5, the LaCourte win. She chilling with the group the whole time, keeping it low key, not losing any time, just chilling with the group. Stage 6, stage 7, the Mavis Squeebon breakaways. Once again, these are both breakaways. She's not worried about it. She's not worried about Mava Squeebon. She's just sitting back there, just chilling. And then finally, stage 8 comes around when she gets the first of her two wins to cap off this magnificent tour. That's another thing about it. Not only did she win the Tour de France, she won the last 2 stages, and she won the final stage in the yellow jersey. I mean, it could not have been better. Like, she was like, hey, France, I know you have been suffering since the 80s. Your suffering is over. The men have not been able to do it, but this woman has.
Well, hold on. Let's talk about the fact that the French won the last 4 stages of the Tour de France.
Yeah.
All right. You have 4 stages in a row, French women.
Incredible.
And their women.
I didn't even thought about that.
4 days of France. And by the time you get to stage 9, the crowds were huge for that race. Like, there was a ton of people.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah. And, France loves a French winner, and let me tell you, they came out in droves for PFP.
It was incredible. Well, and on that stage, the first of the 2 stages she won on Saturday, when you talk about how smart she did that race, she even when the group broke down, she just absolutely played it perfectly. Sarah Gigante is off the front with 11K to go, and there's the group of all the other ones, the Demi Vollerings and Pauline Ferrand Pros and Nea Wadomas of the world are back there, and no one's no one's going after Gigante. So this is the first moment where Ferran Prevot needs to bridge, needs to get out and actually do something. And she very easily bridges up to Gigante. Just as she gets up to her, who drops back to Gigante? Could it be anybody else? Justine Gakira, who is out in the front as a satellite rider, drops back to do her duty. She gets in the front, and boom, Ferran Prevot's just back on the wheel, just sitting there, just back on the wheel, not doing any work, letting Justine Gakira bring her on up the hill. And then as soon as Gakira breaks off, what happens? Oh, Marianne Bunel, Ferran Prevot's teammate, she drops back, because she was up in the front group as well, satellite rider. So Ferran Prevot is still just sitting on. And when Bunel drops off, Sarah Gigante just rides in front. It's like, what are you doing? Why? Like, but that's the thing. No one really yet knew what she was capable of. Right up until this point. I told you,
it was so quiet. It was so quiet.
Bridged across the Gigante, but then after that, it was lights out.
But never all the way up to that point, there never was like a move where you were like, oh shit, what's she about to do? She's just riding, like, and they all let her do it. Cassia dropped off, then Bunel drops off, and then gets, it's just the two of them. And when she starts to go and she starts dropping Gigante, I mean, all of a sudden you're like,
oh, she blew right past her.
Yeah. And
then she mopped up the breakaway riders. It was just like,
she was just going, and just there went the Tour de France right there.
Yep,
and
that was it.
In the quietest, it was an Adam Yates-esque kind of quiet ride. By the way,
Simon Yates.
Sorry, the
another Visma Lisa-like.
Yes,
rider.
I was just gonna say, look at the parallels of these two races, and they're both Visma, and they played it really well. But she's just really good. She played it perfectly. She didn't lift a finger, and when it came time, boom, she separated and she rode away with the Tour de France, and then she was able to completely defend on the final stage and win in yellow, make a statement win, on the final stage of the Tour de France. Like, she didn't just win it on this one climb. She came out and said, oh, look, I'm bearing all of you. All right.
Yeah.
Like, and what does it mean? Does it
total dominance?
Look at Annemiek van Vleuten, I mean, she reminds me of this type.
Yeah, it's that kind of dominance. Yeah. No, you're right about it.
You know what I mean?
She's dialed it. She's absolutely in the zone.
Right time. Like, she just went at the right time.
I could see her carrying this on for a couple of years. Look, let's go back real quick. Let's just talk about stage 7 a little bit. It was the second win for Maeva Squibon of Team UAE ADQ. All right. Well, I have a point I want to make about that team, but I'll make it at the end.
All right.
On this particular stage, you saw Gigante get dropped once again on a descent, but the peloton sits up and she's able to get back on. The breakaway group is not doing anything. Squibon just keeps it chill in this little breakaway group, and on the final climb she gets clear of everyone except for Meyering, I think, from Movistar. Lacour gets dropped, and Squibon is she's peaking right now. All of the the big GC names that we've been talking about make up a chase group. But Squibon is a minute 30 over the top of the final climb, and as she demonstrated the day before, she can descend like a mad woman. They head down this descent. Here's where you see what I think is really the evidence of the greatest evidence of Justine Gakira's awesomeness, and this is when she's screaming at Gigante to catch up to the group. Absolute hero. Lacour manages to catch the GC group. But nobody catches Squibon. She gets her second win. Carabol outsprints Ruth Edwards for second. You get your second French 1-2 in 2 days. So let's see. The French won the last 4 stages. The French won the yellow jersey, and the French went 1-2, 1-2 in stages 6 and 7.
What country is
incredible.
Chabe? What country is Chabe from?
And she's French.
They got the
They
mountains
got
too.
they got the
At
mountains
least
jersey
Chabe,
too.
French.
Incredible. Wow.
Okay. So I want to. Speaking of that, I do want to shout out Elise Chebe, because she did a really, really great job of doing exactly what she needed to in all of the right places to be able to take the mountains jersey. This is the exact thing that the men's tour needs, where it can be a competition in and of itself, where it doesn't just end up default going to Tadej Pogacar or
100%. I also think in like retrospect, there was a lot of talk throughout the race of like, what is she doing? Why is she going out there on certain times? Like when really she's supposed to be a domestique for Jamie Following, right? She's on MTJ, right? And but I think in the end, they're looking at it like, no, Queen of the Mountains is a pretty big prize to go for, and so we just want her to go for that independently. And if
she deserves it, by the way.
If she can help, of course, and if she can help Demi, so be it. But this is a big prize that we want to get, and especially when it started to look like this race might not be Demi's to lose. You know what I mean? Like they got to consider other approaches.
Well,
so,
and I think that plays into the Mavis Squibbin wins as well. You know, this is, you know, UAE being able to salvage their tour in a very Alpecin. What am I? What's
in an Alpecin kind of way.
Yeah,
exactly.
an Alpecin kind of way.
Yeah, no, this is one of my points that I wanted to bring up. Total redemption after the loss of ELB.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
2 stage wins from Squibon, plus 4th for Volodicek.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So like that's not too bad considering you lost the woman who won the last Grand Tour. You know, on the first day or the second day or whatever. So pretty good. A couple of other quick points, and then we got to get out of this one. I just mentioned Vladicek. Poland with a 3-4. How about that? Poland 3-4 with Naomi and Vladicek. Who saw that coming? Poland.
By the way, hold on. And also, can we talk about, just speaking of Cassia, the consistency? You know, my hat's off to Demi Vollering and Cassia Niebonoma. Their consistency in this race is absolutely remarkable. All right. Yeah. Last year, 4 seconds separate them. This year, 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
Was it 3 seconds
between Demi and Cassia?
No. I think it was like 30 seconds.
Are you sure? I'm really sure it was 3.
I think it was 30, but we can look into it later. That was another point, though, that I wanted to make specifically on the Demi side of things, and that is that given how hard she crashed, given that we didn't even know if she would start the next day, watching how hard that crash was, the fact that she still managed second overall in the Tour de France, that says a lot for her. So my hat's off to her as well. And at the end of the day, PFP was just a full level above everybody else. It's really interesting. Like I heard somebody talking about how like she prepared for that race the way one prepares for the Olympics, where it's like, no, this is a one-shot deal. Like I'm going to spend months and months and months. The last thing she did something after Paris-Roubaix, but shortly after Paris-Roubaix, and then it was just like dormant. Like now I go into full-blown training mode, you know, out of the public eye, dialed in for months on end to get to the highest possible level, and she busted everybody.
Well, and here's the thing. No one's going to sleep on her again. So...
No, that's for sure.
You know, the way that she dominated this race, she looked like Pogacar at the end of, you know, stage 8. Like when she rode off from them, like it was Pogacar-esque the way that she moved away.
She was seated.
Yeah.
Demi Vollering was 342. Cassia Neoadoma was 409.
Damn. What was there?
So that
Maybe
was what?
you know
So
what?
15,
I must have been looking.
18,
I must have been looking at this at one of the stages.
27. 27.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Were they
you're probably
3
looking at a
seconds
stage.
separated on the last stage? Is that what it was?
Well, no, because I thought didn't Vollering get second on the last one? I can't fucking remember. I don't know. Let me see. I can look it up.
Whatever. It's irrelevant. My mistake. But still, the fact that they've come in on the podium every year of the Tour de France is friggin' ridiculous.
What's that? The who?
The
the two of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had them
yeah.
with Annemiek, and then you had them with oh man, who was on the podium with them?
There was another stat that I saw here. Vollering, it's been over 3 years since she finished any stage race outside of first or second.
Good.
Not the podium.
Lord.
First or second. Any stage race over 3 years.
That's crazy.
That's consistency right there.
That is crazy.
Very sad to see Cedrine Kerbal drop from 5th to 8th due to a crash on the last stage.
Never like to see that.
That kind of sucked. Gigante drops from 2nd to 6th because of her descending problem. Like, she's got to get a coach. She's got to figure that out, or she'll never be on the top level.
Well, she's never going to be able to win one of these races because there's too many times when it comes into play, and it was an obvious problem in this race for her.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, it was certainly an amazing thing to witness.
I really enjoy it. I
everybody's-
mean, just as always, it's just I feel like this race delivers. I wish it was 2 weeks. I wish it was 3 weeks, but I wish it was 2 weeks, to be honest with you at this point. Like, it'd be great if it was, even if it was like another 2 or 3 days, maybe, instead of 9 stages, we get, a dozen.
Yeah, like what would happen if the trouble is it really needs to start on a weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe they could start it on a Friday and add one day that way because, you could make it a holiday or just whatever. It could be a Friday. People could take off if they wanted to or whatever.
I mean, like, or you could start it, on the Sunday before and make it, 2 weeks. 13 stages, 1 rest day.
Yeah, what was it? So this year was 9 stages.
9 stages, and I do believe that that is an up for. I don't think we had 9 last year, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
Look that up. Yeah, look it up for the team bus.
Yeah. All right. Well.
All right. Obviously, a successful Tour de France, Femmes Avec Zwift. We'll be right back to talk Clasica San Sebastian. Stay with us.
Don't miss the Team Bus, our weekly companion podcast to the main Beyond the Slipstream show. Our domestique, if you will, dropping every Wednesday in your usual podcast feed.
Please note, this segment will contain spoilers. If you have not watched the finish of the race and wish to remain unspoiled, please wait to listen until you've had a chance to catch up. The Clasica San Sebastian, arguably the most important one-day race in Spain each year, has had its share of legendary winners over the years, with names like Valverde, Molina, Yates, Kwiatkowski, Evenepoel, Alaphilippe, Paulus, and Hershey adorning its top step in the past decade or so. But notably, not an Italian in the bunch. In fact, an Italian name has not graced the podium's top step of this hilly, climby classic since 2003, when Paolo Bettini took the win. Not until now. Little Trek's Giulio Ciccone hit out from the man he'd lead the race with over the past 30 kilometers, Team UAE Emirates young Mexican sensation Isaac Del Toro, and Del Toro's teammate Jan Christian. With 8.7 Ks to go, he hit them hard, and with the insane, rabid crowds in Spain's Basque country screaming his name, he put in overdrive up the final climb, and he was never reeled back in. He rolled to the finish in San Sebastian with plenty of time to sit up, celebrate, and not toss his sunglasses to the crowd. Matt, were you disappointed with his choice to retain his eyewear as he crossed the line?
I have to say, I was quite disappointed with that choice. Come on, that was one of the greatest signature moves. We've already discussed it on this podcast. Cicconi's proclivity for tossing his eyewear to the crowd as he crosses the line. It's beautiful. I'm pretty sure, wasn't he fined on one of those ones?
I'm pretty sure he'd be fined right now if he did it, which is probably why he didn't do it.
Am I remembering this correctly though? Was there not one where he tossed them, but there was no one there, like it just like flew over an empty spot in the crowd? Yeah, but I mean, once again, I'll make the same point now that I made then. It's not littering. Like somebody's going to pick up the professional bike riders glass. It's just stupid.
Yes.
But he didn't do it, so there's no point in even talking about it. What he did do was beat UAE Emirates when they had a numerical advantage over him. He played it perfectly.
Yeah, and both of those riders looked really, really good. Jan Christian just seems to be their, really good one-day race guy, man. Like,
yeah, he's like one of those quietly reliable dudes.
Man, he was
like
sprinkled all over these smaller races in the beginning of the year, and here he is again, and arguably one of the biggest, one-day races in Spain all summer long, and he is completely in the mix and almost wins this thing, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? It wasn't decided until, very late in the contest, and he was in the mix, well into it.
Yeah. No, he's been getting results all year long. A quick search shows me that he took the win this year in the Trofeo Calvia, which is one of those on the island where they do the 5 different races. The Trofeo. He won a stage in Algarve this year. And what was the other one? Third in the Tour of Norway. So he's been in the mix for sure. He's great. He's just part of that incredibly deep roster that UAE Emirates has. And, Del Toro also proving that he is the real deal, that the Giro wasn't a fluke, because not only was he totally, in the mix here, but as I had in my team bus notes, he won the Circuito de Getgo a couple days after this, I think, which was his 8th win this season, 11th of his career. And to compare that, at the age that Del Toro is right now, Del Toro's 11 career wins. At the age that he is at right now, Tadej Pogačar had 12 wins. Food for thought. So,
hey, look, the kid's a racer. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he came very close to winning the Giro d'Italia. So,
well, we said it. Look, he probably wins the Giro d'Italia if that team isn't split up the way that it is during the Giro.
Yeah,
all right, if they would have just pushed all in on him when they should have, he probably wins the Giro.
Yeah, and of the two from his team, him and Jan Christian, I think in this race in particular, Jan Christian was definitely the stronger of the two.
Absolutely.
I think he kind of messed it up a little bit because Del Toro and Ciccone were out in front for all that time, and finally Christian was able to bridge, and he blew right past them and immediately dropped Del Toro. And I think they could have worked that a little bit better. I mean, Del Toro was pretty gassed, but there is another, scenario where somehow he doesn't blow past like that. They can sit on a little bit since they've got two riders, and maybe they somehow beat Ciccone. I don't know. He looked pretty darn strong when he finally made his move. But at the same time, Christian was putting in a very bold attempt at reel him back at the finish of the race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So who knows if Christian would have been able would have saved a little bit of energy when making initial contact there. Perhaps he would have had it to spend in the end. But so exciting. I mean, so exciting is that they were going to the very end of the race, and that gap was just getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and like, it's
when
like
he realized that he won, like, God, man, what a great look that was, man.
what a feeling too, God. What a feeling. Well, it's like I love it when the riders are close enough that. And they're coming into a finishing area, because when they're, at the last kilometers, or let's say maybe the last half a kilometer of a bike race, that's like a flatter finish in a city. There's fixed cameras everywhere, and so as the riders are going through it, you get camera 1 angle, camera 2 angle, camera 3 angle, camera 4 angle, camera 5. And when you got two riders that are really close like that, a couple of seconds, it's like one guy goes through, and then just a second later, you see the other guy go through on that same camera angle. So it just like, it intensifies the excitement when they're at that distance. You know what I mean? They're not in the same shot together, but the shots are the identical shots are coming one after the other. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, he's getting closer.
And especially like when there's turns there, and it's like reverting, and the camera angles are like kicking back and forth. Yeah, it's awesome.
So great. It was so damned exciting. So that's a cool race, and it's super exciting finish. I really enjoyed it.
I kind of loved how there was all these different guys, like, in the mix all day. You had Nielsen Palace was in the mix, Primos was in the mix. It's kind of wild. Like, you know what I mean? It feels like we just left the tour, and it's like, here's Primoz Roglic and Nielsen Palace kind of riding in a group together.
Nielsen Palace, former winner. You had Maxime Van Hills in there. Christian was in there. Scaroni was in there. Kian Otebrooks, Tish Benut, Plappy was in there. I mean, quality group.
Dude, where's Ken Utebrooks been all like this entire year? Like, where?
Non-existent.
Like, I just don't even feel like I've seen him race.
He must have had some kind of sickness or something. I don't know. He's been,
because, like, dude, he was like, that kid can climb, man. Like, where's he been?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was cool to see Primoz out there mixing it up with those guys.
Yeah, get used to seeing Tej, or say goodbye to seeing Tej in Visma Lisa bike gear, because it sounds like more and more that he's about to leave.
Yeah. Well, and Primoz's team, we're about to be having some major discussions about what's going on in Primoz's team.
Yeah. But, well, yeah, and Attila Valter was announced today as well as leaving. He's going to Bahrain victorious. So big shakeups in the pro peloton. All right. But it's neat to see this race, like, so close on the heels to the tour, and seeing some of these riders from the tour, mixing it up in a different way.
But not a lot. Yeah, no, I like that. But as I was reading about this race, it seems that, like, you often see like a lot of people that just participated in the tour at this race, and I would not say there was a lot, but there was a few.
Yeah.
So a good race.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say about
I really don't have much else to say either. It really all kind of came down to that last, 20K, and that was the race. So
a very exciting 20K they were.
Yes, they were. All right.
A bunch of quality riders.
On that note, we'll be right back to take another ride in the Broom Wagon. Welcome back. We're going to take another ride in the Broom Wagon. Matt, what do you got for us?
All right. What I have for you, I don't know if there's something in the news about this right now, or if somebody was just like referring to it, because I'm pretty sure what I'm about to reference is about 5 years old. But I knew nothing of it, but apparently there's a notorious MMA fight that took place like 5 years ago. It was between Conor McGregor, the very famous Conor McGregor, everybody knows who he is, and some guy, some MMA guy called Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Khabib, he's a
Khabib
badass.
Nurmagomedov. And there was some really, really bad blood between these two guys because apparently, like, McGregor had been totally shit talking this guy like for months and months and months and just being a jerk about
King
it.
of shit talk, and he got his ass
Yeah.
beat.
Yeah, and so yes, in the clip that I linked, and I'll put it in the show notes for everyone so you can watch it. It's like the end of the fight. Nurmagomedov has beaten McGregor, and I wish that video in that clip had started maybe like 5 or 10 seconds earlier, because McGregor had already submitted, and like the dude did not want to get off him, and the ref really had to work hard to pull him away from McGregor. And when that video clip starts, you see him still kind of like making a move, and the ref pushing him back like one last time. So then, people start coming into the ring and surrounding him, but at some point he kind of breaks out of this like clutch of people that he's in, and his ass starts climbing up the side of the cage and goes into the crowd, and he's like going after somebody in McGregor's crew, which is whoever that guy was that you were just mentioning or whatever. So, and you're getting this like wide shot from above, so you're seeing, you can still see the ring, but you can see what's going on down on the floor with this dude, and they kind of zoom in on it a little bit, and when it pulls back, you see that like other dudes are starting to like charge the ring, and they're going over the fence. So you see this one dude come in, and he starts like kind of getting into a shove sort of thing with McGregor. Well, while McGregor's distracted by that guy, this other dude comes in right behind him and just like rattles off like 4 punches on McGregor. So now he's got like two. I mean, it is an all-out just melee in the middle of this thing, right? And I'm like, wow, I can't believe I've never even heard about this. So it's kind of a wild thing to watch, I mean, it ain't wrestling, you know what I'm saying? It's MMA. Like it's it's a level up. Wrestling is all fake. Like this shit seems real. Like it is real. This is just a bunch of jacked up MMA dudes beefing, because all the guys that were fighting, they're all MMA guys anyways.
I will say this: it's unscripted versus scripted, because trust me, it's all real.
Right. And what's his name? Dana White was up there like afterwards talking about like, oh, those dudes will never fight in a whatever his organization is, like
UFC.
Yeah, UFC, blah blah blah. So, anyways, I'm kind of fascinated. I find a video that's linked in the next one down, which is the blow by blow analysis of the brawl, which is just put together by like some YouTuber out there, and he's gone through, he's found like all the like Instagram videos and stuff that people had found. Like he researched like every camera angle, and he has got the choreography of what happened to this thing like down to a science. He's like, you watch here, now a second later you see this, and then you see this, now look down here, this guy is doing this, and this is blah blah blah, and all these arrows and stuff. It's very well done. And then he breaks out to just the raw video of Khabib like doing his sort of like apology / explanation of why this happened. And as I'm watching this, it gets me thinking about the Key and Peele sketch, because he's like this calm guy, and he's talking with this accent, and he's trying to say like, I mean, you are insulting my family, like, what do you expect me to do? Like, you're talking about my father, like I have to destroy you, and I just, the calmness that he was delivering this speech with just made me think of the Key and Peele sketch. And so the final recommendation here is the Key and Peele sketch, which is called like Ultimate Fighting Match Preview, and it's like supposed to be like one of these pre-recorded like preview kind of trailers for an upcoming MMA fight, where you've got the two guys, Key and Peele, as like the two fighters, and Jordan Peele is just like the young kind of street like black dude. And he's like, yo, I'm gonna with this guy, man, I ain't even gonna blah blah blah. I'm gonna blah blah blah. And then like um Michael Key is like the like soft spoken, like really religious, like Latino dude that's like on a mission from God. And he's like, I am going to I am like, what does he say? He's like, God is the weapon, I am his instrument, and you are the unbeliever or whatever. Like he's spouting off all this crazy religious stuff, and like as it keeps bouncing back and forth between the two guys, like Jordan Peele's character is just getting more and more freaked out by like what the guy's saying. He's starting to get scared. It is a very very funny sketch. So I will recommend Key and Peele's Ultimate Fighting Match preview alongside checking out this crazy fight between Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov. And if you really want to dig deep, get into the blow by blow analysis. What do you got?
I have my just to kind of just tack something onto your topic because I do find it funny. You had mentioned the WWE, and I really, don't follow it, but I will catch things. And they just did their SummerSlam, and I thought it was hysterical that they let this very long time, very, well liked but tumultuous career wrestler CM Punk win the championship belt. And then, like,
I love CM Punk. That guy's cool as hell.
So then what they do is right after he wins, like he is barely given time to celebrate the win, of his life or whatever. I'm sure he's probably been the champion before or whatever, but he's got the belt. It's been this whole struggle, and this other wrestler, Seth Rollins, comes out while he's like all bloodied with the belt. And Seth Rollins, this wrestler, had won a match, a pay-per-view earlier in the year called Money in the Bank, where you get a briefcase that you can turn in at any time you want, any moment that you want. All right. And challenge for the championship belt. Like, they have to take it. Like, you can literally pull it out at any point. But the great thing about this is that Seth Rollins has been playing injured, like on crutches with a leg thing, like full on for weeks. And he comes out, crutches, the whole thing, and he like starts to walk back into the, like back behind the curtain, and he stops and he stands and he drops the crutches, pulls the leg thing off, turns around, grabs the briefcase, goes in, beats the shit out of CM Punk, and takes the belt, like, in that moment. And, like, everybody lost their shit on the internet. Like, every wrestling fan, like, you either fell into the, like, if you're a Seth Rollins guy, obviously you loved it. But, like, there were, like, CM Punk fans that are just, like, were, like, in the moment of, like, oh, my God, my guy, he's finally got the belt. Like, oh, my, and you just hear them be, no! It was.
God, I got to see some of this.
Oh, my God, it was hysterical, dude.
It should have been your Broom Wagon. It's amazing.
Well, all right. We'll call that part of my Broom Wagon. But here's my part 2 of my Broom Wagon. I just wanted to say a shout out. Happy birthday to my son, Connor. Today is his 14th birthday. He is celebrating it in Pittsburgh with his Aunt Teddy, having bottomless sushi tonight, I believe. But
my kids would like that.
I just wanted to shout him out on the podcast and say happy birthday to my son, and whom I love. And I missed him today, but he didn't miss much because obviously we've been dealing with this power issue up until right now. So happy birthday, Connor. I love you. And that's really it.
Is he a listener? Will he hear this?
No, but I guess my hope is that maybe like one day my kids will come back and decide to maybe be like, oh yeah, just start listening to listening to the podcast and be like, oh, wow, look, my dad, really did love me and said nice things about me. And that's all for this week. Join us next week for coverage of the racing action at the Men's Tour of Poland and the Tour de Allez. And we'll also have a candid conversation about the third and final season of Netflix's Tour de France Unchained. Until then, for my brother Matt, I'm Justin Harper. Thanks for listening. We hope you'll join us on another ride beyond the slipstream. Allez!
Beyond the Slipstream is a production of Harperama. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Please like and subscribe, smash that button, leave a 5-star review, and most importantly, tell all your friends about us. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. Allez!